Thank you. After two forum presentations, today I'm going to conclude my talk in a somewhat more philosophical and conceptual way. About my topic is toward better and efficient equilibrium dynamic of research, development, and regulation. The main point is greener R&D because so much costs for drug discovery. On the on the basic side, the human nature balance, so-called harmony, holistic, equilibrium dynamic for biosystem, and trust-based authority, definition and claims, and humanity premises. Like Abraham Lincoln, he said, of the people, by the people, and for the people. This I present several times, these slides. What I would say is biomedical research community, they frequently provide wrong or misleading information to the regulatory agency. This resulted in serious problems. The thinking, we'll talk about the philosophy part. The meeting I attended, World Congress of Philosophy, almost exactly 4 years ago in Seoul, in Korea. This concept is related to Chinese ancient philosophy 2,200 years ago, which is metal, water, fire, earth, and wood. This is translated to the modern provision very well. And from this, relate to regulation. The regulation, one is some as a naturalism, is pro-life kind of preservation, and other is humanism, is human purpose, including like food and drug, and also like air, water pollution, quality, pollution control, and climate and global warming, energy conservation, greenhouse effect, and genetic material, and so on. So this is related to human activity like food, clothing, drilling, traveling, recreation, arts and sport, and entertaining or spiritual. As I said many times, we cannot, the most deficiency, we always not apparent, not known or not apparent. So it's very important, need scientific definition, with otherwise will be the developmental inefficiency and regulatory ineffectiveness. Talk about the dose effect dynamic. The mass action law I've been mentioning many times. This I'd like to emphasize again echnogreen, P pharmacodynamic priority, and synergy definition. And all these publications, I showed this many times, a lot are not accurate or misleading or ambiguous. Of course, there are some outstanding papers. So it can lead to regulatory agency very difficult to decide what is right, what is wrong. The way I did that, my theory is from mathematical, use mass action law, induction, deduction, and generation, derive a lot of equations, and then individual method and general method, and then computer software. The median effect principle is all across different biological systems. The unified theory is somewhat unprecedented by merging massaging law with mathematical induction or deduction. This example, the magic power of mathematical induction. 1 plus 2 plus 3 to 10 equals 55. If I say 1 plus 2 plus 2, 6,789, how much? I can answer that in 20 seconds. That's the mathematical induction. You get 20 seconds, you give me a pocket calculator or iPhone, I can answer in 20 seconds. Okay, so this is the power, but nobody uses this kind of tool in biomedical science. So this is, I presented already, and I want to talk this theory in somewhat different way. It's somewhat related to Chinese Confucius philosophy. Confucian doctrine of the mean. The median effect equation actually, by coincidence, tell the same thing. To be, I can say it's a theory of a half cup of water. A cup half full is half empty. Okay, the median is half affected by drug, half unaffected by drug, and Km in enzyme kinetic is half saturated, half not saturated. pH half ionized, half not ionized. And this half occupied, half not occupied. Or the K, that constant. And it gets stuck. Okay. Structure equation is half bond, half free, the KD. Okay. So the whole thing is just like Confucian doctrine of the mean 2,500 years ago. And the median effect plot, the median equation, all this curve, whether effect, toxicity, or lethality, all become straight line. The slope represents the shape. The intercept represents the potency, median effect. So this is called very mathematically, all the curves become linearized. So this is the two-point theory which I mentioned in my last talk. So all those records, regardless of what drug it is or what effect, even radiation or other effect, is all applicable. And this I have shown already. I don't want to spend time to it. Okay. Okay, this I presented already. Okay. This about the software which originally published by Biosoft in Cambridge, England, and this one, as I mentioned, is by Composing Inc. And now this taken over by PD Science, which is the company I established. So it's welcome for anybody to download from that site. Okay, this I talked already. It's about the skyrocketing cost, but very low efficiency. This no way can be going on further because everything will bankrupt. No way can go on like this. Okay, this is the drug developmental process for preclinical, the mechanistic study, and then this actually not drug discovery. And after that, absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and so on, and then go to the real part in the animal and human. The problem is such a complex process. How can you study it? That's why drug development takes $1 billion. There's no end of it. No bottom. Keep spending money and no end of it. So my proposal is a new dynamic approach bypass all the intermediary step and see the end result based on mass action law. In other words, using mass action law as a common denominator simplify very complicated biological science to very simple one. Make it things easier. Otherwise, you can spend all your life, still cannot finish. There's still more questions. So, as I mentioned here, this drug effect and this intermediate, this end step, nobody knows how many steps it is, how much money going to spend. All we care is dose and effect, the end result. The intermediate, you can spend 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, there's no end of it. And that's why FDA don't know what to do. They ask volumes of data, they even don't know what it is, how to interpret it. It's so costly for nothing. Not for nothing, for very little. Okay, this I presented already. Okay, this I presented already. Okay, here. Now I won't go to too much detail because of the legal system. For example, possible litigation for synergy claim. Drug company A and company B, okay, they develop a new drug, and this is a smaller generic drug. In U.S. federal law, Hatch-Waxman Act, that's the so-called Drug Price Competition and Patent term, that the Restoration Act. They allow challenge the already approved, FDA approved or patent office approved material. So they spend a lot of money, but did not do it right, it can be challenged. So in this case, they go to the court, and then the court make the verdict or settlement. I know at least 3 cases already. Okay, and this synergy claim, combination index prevail. Okay, this is a conceptual sense. This most cited drug combination paper, it takes 10 years to cite only 335. From 1 to 6 to 330 for 10 years. And 31 years later, it's almost 1/3 of a century. People more and more accept it. But still, a lot of people still don't know what it is. Still don't know. So the synergy thing is so important. But still, what is additive effect of 2 drugs? Still don't know. Because if you know additive, you know synergy. If you don't know what is additive, you don't know what is synergy. But everybody talk about synergy, okay? So the paradigm shift, this is a so-called revolutionary shift. It's very difficult. Reform is usually very slow, but need to pay the price very highly because there are a lot of different. So, this interesting slide, resistant to new scientific novelty. Reform is slow and difficult due to complacency and status quo. You say, we've been doing that for 10 years, 20 years. Why are you talking about something new? People resist to do like that. So it took centuries to convince people and scientists that Earth is not flat. And sun is not circulating the Earth. It takes centuries. It took half a century to convince people and regulator that cigarette smoking is hazard to the health. It takes half a century. That's the typical example. So the breakthrough progress or disruptive revolutionary science is not gradual, nor not always gradual or business as usual, like accumulation of knowledge, such as telephone to smartphone, candle to light bulb, and like a propeller to jet, 3D to 2D to 3D. That's all revolutionary. This is not a gradual process. So this is the basic concept, so-called paradigm shift. This I want to show you this famous talk. This I mentioned that earlier, first day of my talk. Max Planck, the great physicist who got Nobel Prize in 1918 on quantum mechanics, he said, a new scientific truth does not triumph by convincing its opponent to make them to see the light, but rather because its opponent eventually die and a new generation grow up that is familiar with it. Another big scientist, also a philosopher, is called Thomas Kuhn. He wrote a book on the structure of scientific revolution. He is the one coined the paradigm shift, that terminology. His book was number 4, the most cited academic book at all time. It's many million citations. So that's what he said. Normal science often suppress fundamental novelty because they are necessarily subversive to the basic commitment. So this is my talk. Thank you.